The city of Blackfriars was a metropolis of steam and sorrow, its endless gray skies perpetually smudged with soot from the industrial engines. Morwen, an engineer's apprentice, knew its cobblestone streets better than the back of her own hand, having traced every winding path from her father's cluttered workshop to the ornate, forbidding gates of the city's great necropolis. Her destination was always the same: the grave of her childhood love, Cassian. The traditional lyrics spoke of a simple, honest grief, but Morwen's pain was a far more complex, mechanical thing. Her grief was a wound that refused to close, and her obsession had twisted her considerable intellect. Instead of mourning, Morwen began to build. On the outskirts of the necropolis, powered by scavenged clockwork and pulsating with a strange dark energy, a massive gramophone sat beside Cassian's tombstone. Its brass horn, tarnished green with time and rain, was aimed directly at the fresh earth. Every night, while Morwen's family believed her to be safely in bed, she would sneak out to the graveyard. As the fog thickened and the steam-powered street lamps flickered to life, she would set the gramophone's needle. The air would fill with the melancholic, discordant strains of Abney Park's cursed melody. The sound was not just a song. It was a ritual, a sonic invocation of memory and grief. The industrial thrum of the music pulsed through the damp earth, a mechanical heartbeat calling to the one buried beneath. The other graveyard residents, the actual ghosts, gave her a wide berth. These were the simple, quiet spirits who haunted their appointed spaces. They watched with ancient, fearful eyes as Morwen's contraption whirred and the cold air grew colder, and a new kind of terror took hold of their sacred ground. One night, as the gramophone's melody reached its mournful chorus, the ground around Cassian's grave began to crack. A skeletal hand, still clutching a single withered blackthorn branch, pushed its way through the soil. But this was no peaceful ghost. The hand was a thing of clockwork and cold mechanics, pulsing with the same unsettling rhythm as the music. It was Morwen's engineering, her grief, and the old song's desperate wish made real. The hand, and soon an entire arm, emerged, its joints ticking and clacking. It was Cassian's body, but only a grotesque mockery of it. Morwen had not simply reawakened him. She had turned his final rest into a cursed clockwork purgatory. He was a mechanical thing, powered by her sorrow and the steampunk gramophone's dark song. But her ritual was not over. As the mechanical Cassian, a marionette of rust and bone, fully rose from the grave, she walked toward him, a crazed, ecstatic look in her eyes. "My brightness," she whispered, echoing the song's lyrics. "It's time we were together." But the mechanical creature only turned toward the gramophone, its hollow sockets fixed on the source of its unending torment. It was not her embrace it longed for, but the blessed silence of death. As Morwen reached for its hand, the creature raised its own clockwork arm and smashed the gramophone, silencing the dreadful music. The sudden quiet was deafening, the oppressive stillness of the grave taking hold once more. The mechanical Cassian, now with no music to animate its cursed parts, crumbled to dust. As it fell, its hand brushed Morwen's. For a moment, their hands were finally joined. "If your hands were in mine, I'd be sure we'd not sever," she had always repeated. But this was no fairy tale ending. Her obsession had robbed them both of their rest. As the last of the dust settled, Morwen felt a chill unlike any she had ever known. The silence, so long sought by her tormented love, was not hers to enjoy. The other, older ghosts of the necropolis moved in now, their whispers like rustling leaves. Her song had awakened more than just Cassian. Now they would have her for their own, drawn to the vibrant grief that had shattered the necropolis's peace. She had stretched herself on his grave, and now, like the rusted clockwork of her own gramophone, her own life would wind down into a final, endless silence.